My name is Josephine Douglas. My age was never important to them. Only my access was. And this happened a few years ago. The message came in at 8:14 a.m., sharp enough to feel deliberate. Mom, we changed all the locks on the front door and updated the gate code. We no longer trust you. No greeting, no explanation. Just a sentence designed to end something. I stared at my phone longer than I expected. Not because I was surprised, but because of how clinical it sounded. Like an HR email, like I'd been formally terminated from my own family. I typed back without hesitating. Me. Noted. That was clever. But I believe you forgot one thing. I didn't wait for a reply. I opened my banking app and canceled the $4,800 mortgage transfer I had been paying every single month, long after they'd told me the house belonged to my sister. The house she deserved, because she gave them grandchildren. And I only ever gave them solutions. 2 days later, a new message arrived. Different number, different tone. No emojis, no passive-aggressive ellipses, just an all-caps subject line from a law office. We have a problem. Call immediately. I never did. Because by the time that email landed, it was already over. But stories like this don't start with betrayal. They start with obedience. They start with a daughter who keeps saying yes, because she believes one day it will count. One day, someone will say thank you. One day, she'll matter. That daughter was me. For years, I paid bills. I fixed problems. I covered emergencies. I carried the weight quietly so no one else had to feel it. They called it help until I stopped. I didn't think I was sacrificing myself. I thought I was saving the family, saving the house, saving the balance. If someone had asked me back then, I would have said, I can afford it. It's fine. But it wasn't fine. I had been paying their mortgage for nearly 4 years, $1,800 a month, every month, like clockwork. An automatic withdrawal straight from my account, like a private family tax no one talked about out loud. On top of that, I paid the utilities, the internet, the property insurance, the emergency roof repair when a storm tore half the shingles off, the property taxes when my parents forgot they were due. My name, my credit, my money. They never said thank you. My sister Lindsay always had a crisis. Her credit card was maxed out. I paid it down. Her car needed brakes. I covered it. Daycare was too expensive. I sent cash, just until she figured it out. 3 years later, she was still figuring it out. And somehow, I never said no. Not once. Because I thought this was what family did. It took me a long time to realize that was exactly what they were counting on. The first real crack appeared on a Sunday afternoon. I was sitting in my car waiting for a grocery pickup, scrolling mindlessly through Facebook. And then I saw the photo. Lindsay, my parents, her kids, all standing in front of the house I was paying for. They were holding a sign that read, "Home Sweet Home, a gift from Lindsay." My mother's caption said, "So proud of our daughter for building a future we can all share. This home is in the right hands." I reread it 3 times. Lindsay's house. The right hands. There was no mention of me. No tag. No, "We're grateful for Josephine's support." Not even an accidental acknowledgement. Just smiles on a porch I paid for. The comments were worse. "So inspiring. She's such a strong woman. You're lucky to have a daughter like that. She deserves every inch of that house." Even my aunt commented, "Lindsay, you earned this." I didn't throw my phone. I just stared at it, like a bruise I wasn't ready to touch yet. A few days later, I called the bank. Not to confront anyone, just to confirm something. To reassure myself that at least the paperwork reflected reality. The mortgage was still under my name. Then the woman on the phone added, casually, "It looks like there was a request submitted last week to change the primary contact to a Miss Lindsay Carson." My heart stopped. "They didn't complete verification," she said quickly, "but the documents are in progress." I thanked her and ended the call. Then I checked my account. That's when I saw it. $2,400 gone. A transfer to a card I hadn't authorized. I knew that number. Lindsay's emergency visa, the one I bailed out 2 years earlier when she was temporarily unemployed. I texted her calmly. Me. Did you use my card again? Her reply came fast. Don't make it a thing, Josephine. We needed groceries and the kids needed shoes. I thought we were still sharing that one. We weren't. She didn't respond after that, but my mother did. Mom, honey, Lindsay is going through so much right now. She said she'll pay you back. Let's not start a war over a few dollars. A few dollars. $2,400 was a few dollars when it was mine. Lindsay missed one phone payment, and it was a family emergency. That same night, the family group chat lit up. Someone had renamed it Family Circle, even though I never agreed to that. A cousin posted a meme of a woman handing over her wallet with the caption, "Big Sister Energy." Someone replied, "Tag Josephine." Another joked, "Can we get her to cover my student loans too?" Even my father chimed in. "Only if she names her first kid after us. Gotta keep the donor happy." I stared at the screen. No one defended me. Not even a weak joke to soften it. I left the chat. They added me back. I left again. And that was before the worst part. The moment I realized none of this was accidental. But I didn't know that yet. Not until later that week. Not until I heard them say it out loud. That Friday afternoon, I was mowing the backyard. The same backyard I'd been maintaining for the past 3 summers because, in my father's words, why hire someone when you're already here? The mower sputtered, then stalled. I shut it off and reached for my water bottle. That's when I heard voices drifting from the kitchen window. The window was open. I didn't mean to listen. I wasn't eavesdropping. I was just there. My mother and Lindsay were talking. Their voices were relaxed, comfortable, familiar in a way that told me this wasn't a new conversation. This wasn't even an emotional one. This was routine. Lindsay laughed first. "Did you see her face when I told Aunt Karen the house was mine?" she said, amused. She just stood there smiling like a puppy, happy to sniff the plate. My mother giggled. "It's almost done," she said. "Once the paperwork goes through, there's nothing she can do. She's the one who insisted it stay in her name. Her problem." I froze. Lindsay again, casual, dismissive. "Honestly, it's better this way. She's always been distant, like a guest with a wallet." Then my mother said the sentence that changed everything. "Josephine isn't family anymore," she said. "She's just a sponsor." I stood there holding the water bottle, watching water drip through my fingers and into the grass like I'd sprung a leak somewhere inside my chest. I didn't cry. I didn't feel angry. Something colder took over, something still, something final. They didn't know I was there. They didn't see me step away from the window. They didn't see me shut the gate behind me. But from that moment on, I was done being confused. I wasn't unloved by accident. I was being used on purpose. The invitation arrived the following week. White envelope, thick paper, gold trim, no handwritten note, no apology, just a printed card. "Please join us in celebrating Elizabeth Carson's 60th birthday." I didn't RSVP. I just circled the date in red. 3 days before the party, I started preparing. Not emotionally, logistically. I printed everything. Every mortgage payment. Every utility bill. Every insurance premium. Every emergency repair. I totaled it all. $211,723.84. Line by line, date by date. I loaded the screenshots onto a USB drive. The family group chat jokes. The bank notice about the attempted transfer. The unauthorized credit card charges. The email Lindsay submitted trying to change the property contact. If the house was hers now, then the debt was too. I also included the audio. I didn't record them secretly. I didn't have to. They'd sent me voicemails over the years. Casual ones, confident ones. Messages where they said things they assumed I'd never question. I labeled the folder simply Legacy. The morning of the party, I sent one message. To my grandfather, "I'm going to need you there tonight." He didn't reply. I didn't need him to. The venue was exactly what I expected. A rented banquet hall. Soft lighting. Champagne flutes. a slideshow looping childhood photos like proof of affection. My mother stood beneath a banner that read, "A house is not a home without family." I almost laughed. I arrived 10 minutes late on purpose. Heads turned. Some smiles froze. Some people avoided eye contact. Lindsay saw me, blinked, then looked away like I was a stranger who'd wandered into the wrong event. I didn't greet anyone. I took a seat. Lindsay spoke first. She talked about love, about sacrifice, about how this year had brought us all closer together. A photo of the house appeared behind her. "Built with love," she said. "Passed down with purpose." Not one mention of me. Then my mother took the microphone. She dabbed her eyes dramatically. "I'm so proud of my daughter, Lindsay," she said. "She's shown us what legacy really means. I'm glad this home is staying in the right hands." The applause swelled. That's when I stood up. I walked to the microphone calmly, steadily. "I wasn't planning to speak tonight," I said, "but since we're talking about legacy, let's talk numbers." The room went silent. I plugged in the USB. The projector flickered. Then the audio played. My mother's voice filled the room. "Josephine isn't family anymore. She's just a sponsor." Someone gasped. A glass shattered. Then Lindsay's voice. She stood there smiling like a puppy. Silence fell hard and heavy. The next slide appeared. Screenshots. Group chat jokes. Unauthorized charges. Bank documents. Then the ledger. Page after page. I turned back to the room. "If the house belongs to Lindsay now," I said evenly, "then this wasn't a gift. It was a transaction. And here's the bill." Lindsay shot up from her chair. "Are you serious?" she yelled. "Dead serious," I replied, "unless you'd rather call it theft." My mother lunged toward me. "It was a gift!" I stepped closer. "Funny," I said. "I don't remember gifting $211,723.84. Do you?" My father stood. I met his eyes. "Do you want to explain the loan application you submitted using my name without telling me?" I asked quietly. "Because I have that too." He sat back down. Then the doors at the back of the room opened, and my grandfather walked in. The room held its breath. He walked straight to the front, took the microphone from my stunned mother, and said one sentence. "You raised a thief," he said, looking at my father, "and a coward." Then he turned to me. "The trust is yours now," he said. "I changed it last week. Lindsay's name is gone." Gasps rippled through the room. My mother's face cracked. Lindsay nearly collapsed. My grandfather handed the microphone back. "You want legacy?" he said. "Earn it." Then he walked out. I placed the invoice on the gift table. "You changed the locks," I said calmly. "I changed my future." "I'm not your donor. I'm your debt collector." Then I left. No cake, no hugs, no goodbyes. Just done. The next morning, I woke up to 57 messages. I didn't read them all at once. I scrolled slowly, like I was flipping through evidence instead of apologies. My mother's came first. "You humiliated me. In front of everyone." My father's followed. "You didn't have to take it that far." Lindsay didn't send anything. Just silence. Just absence. By noon, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. I answered. "Ms. Douglas," a man said carefully, "I'm calling on behalf of your parents. We'd like to discuss a quiet resolution." Quiet. That word again. "No press," he continued. "No social media. No further escalation." I leaned back against my kitchen counter, staring at the sunlight on the floor. "Full repayment," I said. "Every dollar." There was a pause. "That's a substantial amount." "It's exact," I replied. "And it's documented." He said he'd be in touch. I didn't hold my breath. 72 hours later, the wire transfer hit my account. $211,723.84. From a private account, not my parents' names. Even better. I filed everything. No victory post, no announcement, just confirmation. I didn't want peace. I wanted payment. A week later, I posted a single video. No filters, no background music. Just me, sitting in my living room. "Closure isn't always forgiveness," I said. "Sometimes it's repayment." I put the number on the screen. The video spread faster than I expected. Therapists shared it, strangers messaged me, people thanked me for saying out loud what they'd lived through quietly. Then came the voicemail. My father's voice, tired, bitter, stripped of authority. "So that's it?" he said. "You think money fixes this? You think you won?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Because 2 days later, my mother sent another message. The same tone as the first one. The same cold finality. "You're not part of this family anymore." I stared at it for a moment. Then I smiled. They changed the locks. I changed my life. No more group chats. No late night emergencies. No pretending that love came with an invoice. People ask me if it hurts. It doesn't. I'm not bitter. I'm free. Freedom cost exactly $211,723.84. I don't feel lighter. I feel clearer. Clarity doesn't float. It stands. They disappeared after that. No apologies, no calls. Because I was never really a daughter. I was a service. When I stopped giving, they stopped caring. Now my mornings are quiet. Coffee without demands. Peace without pretense. When people ask why I'm not close with my family, I just say, I stopped mistaking access for love. That's enough. Forgiveness requires accountability. They never offered it. So I offer nothing. If they were standing in front of me today, I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't explain. Silence is final. There's no door back in. I didn't cut ties out of anger. I cut them to survive. They might tell people I left over money. Let them. I have the facts, and I have peace. Now I just live, not loudly, not for revenge, just honestly. I work, I rest, I laugh. No more dinners where I pay to be ignored. My mother once said, "If you ever left, we'd fall apart." She was right. They did, but I didn't. I'm not waiting. I'm just done.